let's talk about the Heavy update.
Don't worry, my beloved, your time will come soon.
The update that has haunted TF2 players for years and years and years. And in those years, many people have speculated on what exactly the Heavy update might be. And that's exactly what I'm doing in this here video. So if you end up enjoying it, remember to subscribe, my friend. Because at 2,000 subscribers, I'm getting married to my friend CJ. And I'd like to give a very big special thanks to Mouse, who made the thumbnail for this video, because I don't know SFM. They seem to have put a lot of work into it, and I'd like to thank them for what they've done for me. And with nothing more, let's begin. I'd like to start off my predictions by stating what Heavy himself needs in the current state of TF2. Heavy is pretty cool, and in no way would I say he's broken or underpowered, but maybe he's a bit repetitive. There aren't many ways to experiment with Heavy's playstyle, at least when compared to other classes. While a class like Engineer changes playstyle by literally swapping out any weapon that they have for another one, Heavy's primaries all serve the same purpose. Sure, a Heavy of the 𝓘𝓜𝓔 has a quicker reaction speed and better stealth, but they will still largely play the same as a Heavy of the stock minigun. That's even more of a problem considering two Heavy's primaries kind of suck, with the 𝓘𝓜𝓟𝓔 Elongator and the Brass Beast being kind of just jokes at best. Think about Soldier's primaries. The Beggar's Bazooka plays very differently from stock, and the Rocket Jumper is almost useless, but makes it possible for Trollger to exist. If this needs to be proven further, think about Demoman's primaries. One of them is literally a pair of boots to remove your primary gun in exchange for some buffs. Heavy has nothing like this. If you look to Heavy secondaries, the shotgun and the family business are garbage weapons only used for an ineffective meme class that you only switch to when you're bored. The banana is just a cooler sandwich, the Delocos bar is underwhelming, and that using the buffalo steak sandwich is a sin. Really, the only Heavy secondaries that anybody would use if they were trying not to suffer or sane would be either the banana or the sandwich. So, now that we've taken a look at these problems of Heavy, what is the solution to it? Well, of course, more Heavy weapons. These new weapons have to be more novel than before and should really change up Heavy's playstyle. For a primary, there is one idea that I may or may not have stolen from a Roblox game. How about a minigun that needs to be reloaded? Yes, I know it sounds like it kind of breaks Heavy, but that's pretty much what we're trying to do here. This reloading minigun would have no spin-up time, allowing for instant fire. What this essentially does for Heavy's playstyle would be encouraging less sitting on dispensers or the cart and continuously firing, and more going around while independently picking off individual enemies. The other attributes of this minigun would be buffs to single target encounters at a close to medium range, which most miniguns already excel at. So this minigun would be quick and deadly, but the reload time would provide a vulnerable point of weakness where Heavy can easily get dunked on. For a new secondary, there are a few ideas that I can throw around. First, what if you give Heavy some of Scout's 𝓘𝓜𝓟𝓔? The 𝓘𝓜𝓜𝓟𝓔 on Scout is pretty mid, but I think it would work pretty well with Heavy. Heavy's 𝓘𝓜𝓜𝓔 would make it so it's even easier for him to mow down enemies, but also even easier for him to be mowed down by coordinated enemies. This, much like Scout using the 𝓘𝓜𝓜𝓔, would encourage ambushing the enemy and being more stealthy. If Heavy is able to get the jump on an enemy, he melts them, and if he doesn't, it's over. Second, what if Heavy had a lunchbox item that's more like an instant gloves of running urgently? When consumed, this item takes a portion of Heavy's health away, but grants him his speed boost. This combined with my wacky primary idea would lead to a Heavy playstyle that takes away Heavy's high health and survivability in favor of higher damage and higher speed. Finally, what if Heavy had a lunchbox item almost entirely dedicated to helping out his teammates? This team play item would heal a small health pack or even less for Heavy, but a medium health pack or even more for his teammates. The regen of the item would be like a banana, which now that I'm thinking about it, would make two Heavies with it equipped working together monstrously powerful. On the topic of melee weapons for Heavy, I think that they're mostly pointless right now. Someone might use Heavy's gloves of running urgently to make their way to their front line a bit quicker, or maybe they might equip the iron fist of their masochists, or maybe they'll even equip the killing gloves of boxing to keep around for the 1 in a million chance that using your melee to kill is actually a good idea as Heavy. If Heavy were to have a new melee, I think it would have to be a total playstyle changer and actually make melee Heavy a viable way to play. This essentially could not be done without breaking the fabric of reality, much in the same way that full Demo Knight hollows out Demoman's explosive capabilities entirely in exchange for melee capability. So, in my opinion, Heavy's melees just can't be made worth it without some really complicated balancing and things. Instead, I think that the Heavy update will just need to focus on balancing what he already has, maybe adding a few new ones, and and, you know, figuring that out. Moving on from the important topic of adding new weapons to Heavy, let's talk about the overall update itself. Logically, since Pyro got an update themed around fire and a tropical climate, hence the Jungle Inferno update, Heavy should get the exact opposite. Heavy's update would be themed around ice and a polar climate. Inevitably, this would have something to do with the Soviets or the Russians, something like the Cold War update. Maybe if it was the Cold War update, Soldier would get some cool new things too, in order to really fit that United States versus Soviet Union Cold War theme. Another idea I've seen a few times is the idea of the Heavy update also having major changes to man versus machine, turning the Heavy update into something like the Heavy Metal update, which is pretty metal. This is a very cool idea, and maybe someday I'll dive deeper into updating man versus machine, unless I already did that and I have dementia. Yet another idea I've seen was Valve literally just admitting that the Heavy update is the final update of TF2, so they'd make it out to be something more emotional, tributary, like the Heavy Heart update. This is sad, but I think that Valve admitting that it's over is a closure that many of us don't want to see, but certainly need to. Anyways, let's go back to the cold theme being the main theme. Obviously, there would be some new maps that take place in cold places. Maybe there'd be some mercenary park counterpart like the Soviet Gulag or the Factory. Who knows? Maybe there'd even be an evil Saxon Hail in the form of St. Nicholas or John Communism or something. As far as I know, Valve is much better at being creative than I am, so I know they'd figure it out. Now, I know that whenever the words cold update are said, many people's minds gravitate towards the ideas of cold weapons being in the game. Well, first of all, Heavy's Natasha already essentially fills in for what a cold weapon would probably be for Heavy, if we assume that a cold weapon just means like a slowdown weapon, like it does in so many other pieces of media. Maybe instead there'd be a minigun that launches sharp penetrating icicles that can go straight through enemies and hit multiple of them. Who knows? For other characters, things get interesting though. Maybe Pyro gets a cold blaster that like deals terrible damage but makes people mini vulnerable, I don't know. Or maybe Soldier just gets a rocket launcher that fucking sucks. The minds of Valve and the community have no limit. And with that, I'm going to end the video by giving you a mission. If you have any cool ideas about a potential Heavy update or just an update in general, you should go leave them in the comments. Trust me, I really do read them and I'd like to engage with you guys some more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you when the Heavy update comes out.